Hey folks, and welcome to another video from A Plain Truth. We're going to get into the latest FEMA statement here, which is beyond the absurd, beyond the pale. But I wanted to give a shout out to my friend Enchico Danell, who compiled this list over the past few months of all the corporations from international corporations, some local as well, that are involved in the quote, rebuild paradise, where nothing is being rebuilt, as I'm going to show in the next video. But all these companies are in and around paradise, putting in new massive fiber optics underground and above ground, clear cutting massive trees everywhere. Well, the cars that were destroyed and torched are still there. The homes that were destroyed are still there, and no one's been rebuilding. No one can move in. They're not going back. They never will. But thank you, Danell, for this. All right, so let's get into FEMA. Well, here's the FEMA director, former FEMA director for Bill Clinton, James Lee Witt. Notice the 66 that reported dead and 6,000 people. There's your 666. But James Lee Witt, former FEMA director of Clinton, was brought in to rebuild the North Bay here in Santa Rosa, and he brought in all his visa companies, bringing in foreigners from India and China to take over. Notice how they love their 666. Notice the rainfall right after the Paradise explosions and genocide. It was 666 inches. But James Lee Witt, former FEMA director, coming into Santa Rosa, now taking over the Rebuild Paradise as well. And he's written a book about it while he has his C-Corp company about disaster capitalism, where he makes money on disaster capitalism. And Paradise, to remind everybody, is the only place Donald Trump, Gavin Newsom, and former Moonbeam Jerry Brown, Jesuit minister, all came to Paradise, did not come anywhere else. But the Rebuild Paradise is on by design of the resources that are going to be designated for California, the great railway, the great mega dams coming in, the great rebuild on solar, all electric homes. These are all part of the plans to keep everybody from being able to move back in. And they're celebrating this as the greatest fire in California history. Over 19,000 buildings were said to be destroyed, 52,000 people, their number evacuated, and 88 dead. Yet we can only find a few hundred. We've offered money to victims that are still living in their cars and they're getting no help. Well, listen to this video from ABC News about what FEMA is doing now and an update on what FEMA said they can and cannot do. It is just ridiculous.
The Camp Fire destroyed 14,000 homes. That's tens of thousands of people who lost the roof over their head. In the days following the fire, FEMA had grand plans. They said they wanted to build these big group sites with hundreds of mobile homes for those people to live in and bring in about 2,000 travel trailers to help them out as well. That hasn't been going well at all. Some people in Butte County are still living in temporary shelters waiting for a housing fix. The county administrator, Sherry McCracken, didn't sugarcoat things at all when she talked to the State Wildfire Commission this week.
There is not a mobile home on the ground yet. So we're going on, 4.5 months, because FEMA's model is we need a big piece of land with utilities right there and we'll put 1,000 mobile homes. You don't have that in rural America.
So here we are at the Chico Airport where the FEMA camp was before. And we can noticeably see a bunch more trailers. The big circus tents are gone. They still have a tent over there, but not as big as the other one. And here we have a truck. These trucks are coming inside and out all day long. You can see Chico Tower, but all of a sudden there's trailers, a bunch of trailers over here. How you doing, sir?
Good, how yourself?
Good. I've got a church. We're bringing up some bunch of food and clothing, and we want to know if to help the Paradise victims where we could take stuff.
You got to take them to the fairgrounds. They don't collect any stuff here.
Do you know what fairgrounds?
The Chico Fairgrounds. I don't have an address for you, but they are over there by Park Avenue, I believe.
Oh, is it a Butte Fairgrounds? Do you think it's?
Okay, yeah, the Butte Fairgrounds. Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
So,
appreciate it.
Yeah, just go ahead and make a U-turn.
Thank you. So that was just the other day up in Chico where over 50 acres has been commandeered by FEMA. They've been there before the fires occurred in a huge, massive staging area. Yet they have no room to put the trailers for everybody, yet there's trailers on site. It is beyond the pale that they lie to us and they get away with what they're doing while people are suffering, tens of thousands, if they're even alive.
And so they keep scratching their heads and looking at us. Well, why can't you give us property with utilities? Because we're rural. There's not big land in our cities. The amount of money they have spent to date to not have a mobile home on the ground probably could have built affordable housing.
And where's all the money, folks? Where did all the money go? Here's January 7th, the new governor, Gavin Newsom, celebrates inauguration with wildfire benefit concert. He raised $5 million for the victims of the fires, yet they haven't seen it yet. Oh, they had a party. It was a grand time. California rising. Oh, let's celebrate all the good times because things are getting better all the time. 51,000 people still accounted for. Nobody's seen any money. But the campfire donations, Ken Grossman, a $100,000 check, $200,000 plus $50,000 from the Raiders, $750,000 from J.P. Morgan Chase, Walmart Foundation, $500,000. Where is the fucking money? Why aren't these people getting it? Why are we having to still fund people today from your generous donations to help others that are suffering, living in cars still, families who've been displaced? 50,000 here, 50,000 there. 1.3 million donated to campfire relief. 25,000 here, 448,000 there, a goal of 500,000, 804,000 there. Anybody want to talk about this? $425 million was raised for the victims by Red Cross for the victims of Hurricane Harvey. Not one person I interviewed weeks after had seen a penny. Salvation Army, 2.2 million has come from various donation streams. Where is the money, folks? We should be outraged.
And would have been a reinvestment. So when I retire, my goal is to go fix federal law.
So there's obviously a lot to unpack there, but let's start with just a basic fact check of the situation. Are there really no mobile homes on the ground at all? We asked FEMA that question. Here's what they told us. On the ground right now, they say they have 207 travel trailers. Remember, they said they wanted to bring in about 2,000, and 21 mobile homes, not hundreds. We took that back to McCracken, who said her point is that none of those mobile homes that people want are actually in Butte County, where all of the fire survivors actually lived. And she also added, of all those trailers, only 14 of those are actually located in Butte County. FEMA, by the way, wouldn't confirm to us which units were in which county at this time, but McCracken told us that FEMA essentially came in with a plan that was meant for urban areas where they might expect to find a large paved lot that had utilities right away available to hook up these mobile homes, and figured out that that wasn't the case. FEMA, on the other hand, is blaming other factors like bad weather and pushback from the community on the couple of sites that they found that were suitable for building mobile homes. But the agency does admit things are not going as well as they'd hoped. Quote, "We share the frustration of residents and local officials that housing options have not developed faster. We want to be honest with survivors and the broader community that our emergency housing efforts will not address all housing needs." That's obviously not comforting news, and to go along with it, FEMA has revised down the number of units it's planning to bring in. It was talking about 2,000 before, now it is shooting for an estimate of 1,300. In the meantime, the county says people are leaving in droves because they don't want to stick around. It was hard to find housing before. It's even harder now with all of these displaced people there, and with the bad weather they've had and the shortage of resources, it's just slow going trying to scrape down the burned out properties up in the Paradise area. The exodus out of Butte County is so bad, McCracken says, that she expects the county to actually lose population in the next census, which, oh, by the way, is just around the corner next year. That was just a little sample of some of the problems she outlined to the State Wildfire Commission. It took her almost 15 minutes to lay out a laundry list of problems trying to recover from the campfire. We have the entire speech, which is absolutely worth your time to watch right now at abc10.com/raw.